Hi, we're almost there. Hi, welcome to Queenie's Cards of the Month. I'm going live on YouTube and Facebook at the same time. So if I don't see your little chats on Facebook, it's because I've got the camera set up wacky so that I can look at you both at the same time. Actually, I could probably move that up. But anyway, hello. Welcome to Queenie's Cards of the Month for April 2024. I keep thinking that it's still March, but it is absolutely not still March. Anyway, we are going to start by setting the intent that whenever this message finds you, it's right for you, and that this is what I usually do. I go in and I pull a bunch of different cards from a bunch of different decks, and we go through and check out what the potential energy of the month is going to be like. What do you think? Do you think it's going to be good? I hope so, because it is like a blank show out there, guys. A blank show. Anyway, so hopefully on my new laptop, the YouTube is YouTubing. It looks like it is. I know on my on Facebook I can see myself, so maybe that's a good thing. Here, let's see if we're okay. Yes, that was my cleavage. Enjoy. YouTube gets to enjoy. I don't know. Maybe you're enjoying too. It doesn't matter because it's cleavage and this is a card reading. So I'm going to shuffle the Fairies Oracle cards. This is Fairies Oracle by Brian Froud. And I'm going to shuffle these cards, and we are going to pull a card that is meant to signify the overarching theme of April 2024. I wonder if I should. Nope. Oh no, just a little too much. Jeez. So finicky. So finicky. Anyway, so we're going to shuffle these cards, and I'm going to pull one out of the middle, which is what I like to do. All right. So we have first here, I guess, then up here, the Singer of Courage. This is come on, we're figuring out the YouTube thing. The Singer of Courage is the theme of the month. I was hoping for something a little more lighthearted, but okay, I guess that's what this is. The Singer of Courage is, well, the answer seems really obvious, but it's not. The Singer of Courage is about, when we're younger, we kind of set up like what we're afraid of from the time that we're little. But that changes as we grow. That was just a bunch of hard fartling. So this means that this month we're really going to need to face ourselves, face our world with an amount of courage that maybe we haven't had to for a while. And this courage to me it feels more like truth, honesty, reality, and wow, man. Okay, so this is going to be quite a month. It feels like it's going to be quite a month. It may do this. It may do this. It'll certainly do that. But honestly, since the beginning of the year, almost every single day there's another. So I guess that's par for the course. The Singer of Courage is kind of like the higher octave of one of the boogeyman cards that we get with the Fairies Oracle, which is Jihabya or Gawacha. And those cards are about really kind of needing to face our fears in some way, shape, or form. And this is, to me, the Singer of Courage being the higher octave of that. Part of facing those fears is facing ourselves, facing our own shadow, understanding, looking around our world and understanding what this is bringing out in us, what it is reflecting back to us. This doesn't mean that everything we see that's shitty means that we're shitty. Pardon me, cuss word. That's not what it means, but it does mean, it does give us the opportunity to see ourselves in every single other human being, which is, I don't know, I would think that's pretty ideal, to be able to see ourselves in every single other human being. Not in a way that you have to beat yourself up for being any even remotely similar, or having any compassion or empathy for a human being that you dislike or cannot stand or find abhorrent. I haven't used that word in a long time, abhorrent. But it's been in rotation for the last couple of months, with along with the every day. Um, so the Singer of Courage is asking us to have the courage to face ourselves, to face our shadow, but also to face our beauty, and our, sometimes it's even scarier to face the things that are absolutely beautiful and lovely about ourselves than it is to face the things that are bad. Sometimes it's so much easier to walk around in a big shame ball, because it's familiar, than it is to feel good about who you are, what you're doing, how you respond to things, where you've been, where you're going. I think that this Singer of Courage being the card, the overarching theme of the month, I'm really hoping this gives us, I'm hoping this brings us hope. It's a symbol of hope. It's a symbol, it's a card that says, it's the energy of, yes, I can. I can do this. I can face this. I can move past this. I can rise above this. I can be in this and still be a loving human being. I can be in this and still care. I can be in this and my heart can still be open, having the courage to have our hearts be open. So that's kind of, it took me a little while to hook into exactly what it was trying to say. But I'm pretty sure I hooked into what it was trying to say, is like, it's time, this month is giving us the opportunity to have the courage to have our hearts still be open regardless. And that's courageous, to love regardless, even in the midst of things that are shock and awe, but to be able to see beyond that, to see beyond the way we are being manipulated and the way we are being poked at day by day by day, one thing after another, after another, after another. And to be able to still be loving human beings and still be able to have an open heart. It takes courage to do that when you're trying to be shown something different and some way to other people every single minute of every single day. This month we need to have the courage to keep our heart open. So that is the Singer of Courage. That's what's happening. That's the theme of the month. That may seem kind of scary. It may seem kind of daunting. It was when I first put the card down or looked at the card. I went, oh, come on. I'm tired. I'm tired over here. But part of that keeping your heart open is a softening. It's to remain soft, to remain open, to understand that, to not shut completely down and cave up, to do that when it's needed, but to also keep your heart open. There is more here beneath the surface and beyond what we're seeing and what we're being fed. There's so much more. And I am not just blowing smoke, and I'm not just saying, trying to be la-ti-da. I'm not just trying to uh, ignore or be in denial. There's just so much more. There's so much more beyond it, above and beyond all this othering that we're being fed all the time. Here we go, some more. I'm trying with the lighting, you guys. I'm trying with the natural lighting, you guys. What am I doing here? Anyway, so that is the theme of the month. That was my little soapbox, my first soapbox of the month. How about that? My first little soapbox rant of the month. Now, the next one I'm going to pull as a support card is I'm going to pull a Spirit Cats by Nicole PR. I'm going to pull one of those to support us, and the Singer of Courage to support us in being courageous, to still have an open heart regardless of what's going on, to understand that we still need to do our thing and live and love and feel some sort of optimism somewhere about our future and how we can contribute to the betterment of this planet, of this human community. Let's see what cat's supporting us. And it's funny because they have a tendency to have very simple, kind of down to earth messages, which is very helpful. And I think this is one of them. This is patience. Meet Snugpuff. She transmutes our restless urgency and "are we there yet" complaints into an apparition? No, appreciation of what is right now. That might be the most courageous thing to do, is to be with what is right now. Let go of everything that will come after this moment and have faith that you are exactly where you need to be. Draw a circle around the present moment and relax into it with Snugpuff curled up on your lap. Sometimes we believe that we need to be at our destination right now, but there is so much to be learned and discovered right here where we are. Let's be patient with ourselves, our loved ones, and the world around us. There is time. So there's that. Everything seems so urgent right now. Everything seems so scary and so like so urgent. That's a really good word. Everything seems so urgent right now. And maybe the biggest, most supportive thing that we can do to I'm sorry about the music outside. If you can hear it, my room is right on the street. And so I'll get a little closer. Anyway, so we feel so much urgency right now and so much anxiety right now. Part of being courageous is to just be with it. I'm going to be with this music that's outside that maybe you can hear it and maybe you can't. I'm just going to be with it. And you can just be with me being with it. How about that? All right. So we've got our main card, which is the Singer of Courage. This is the theme of the month. Having the courage to keep our heart open, regardless of what seems to be happening in the world. Our support is patience. being patient, being where we are right now. It takes a lot of courage to be exactly where you are right now. Okay. Whew, the music's done. No, it's not. Of course not. That's all right. You notice I'm actually kind of angry. But oh well, I'm really hoping this doesn't ruin our experience. Can you hear it? I know the Facebooks, I'm going to do this with the camera. Can you hear the music, Nada? Okay. Now we're going to get the tarot out, the major arcana. And what we use the major arcana for is for the beginning of the month, the middle of the month, and the end of the month. I really hope you can't hear that because it's really distracting to me. But oh well, it is what it is. Trying to be here in the moment, man. Oh, you can't? Good. Good, because I can. I mean, it's some R&B. That's not so bad, but come on now. All right, so I'm using the Eileen Connolly Tarot deck, and I'm only using the major arcana. The reason I only use the major arcana is the major arcana hits on your, is this all of them? I guess so. The major arcana hits on like your soul evolution, the big stuff, the planetary stuff, as opposed to your day-to-day stuff, which is the court cards and the number cards. I like to use the major arcana for this just because it gives a better read, because this is, even though this kind of feels personal, this is a little bit less personal reading than a one-on-one reading. So we don't need to, it's hard to get the energy of everybody that ever watches or is watching, minutia of their days and their worlds and everything like that. The major arcana kind of gives the theme. So here's the theme of the beginning of the month from April 1st, which is yesterday, to April 12th, and then from the 13th to the 20th, and then the 21st to the 30th. So let's see what we've got going here. Okay, so this is the beginning of the month. Middle. Oh, okay, that's good. The end of the month stabilizes a little bit. Okay, so the beginning of the month, we have the High Priestess card. I'm going to move it forward to, here's your, oh my God. I'm backwards over here on the YouTubes. Here's the High Priestess. She's reversed. This is the High Priestess reversed. This is the beginning of the month. I don't read reversed cards as anything bad. I read them as either something that we're resisting or something's happening deep within. We've got the High Priestess. The High Priestess has everything going on deep within. She is card number 2 in the major arcana, and the High Priestess is the keeper of all the Akashic records. She has all the knowledge. She contains all the knowledge. She holds on. She's pregnant with the knowledge, and she's very balanced because of the 2. You see the 2 columns. You see the 2 columns there. It's very balanced, but having this upside down, oh, okay, is, I'm getting the phrase, you know better. It's almost like we might be resisting some of our wisdom. Okay. I think that at the beginning of the month, it's going to be hard to resist forgetting about the cycles of things, forgetting about how things unfold and how history repeats itself and how there are cycles in these things, how this is not anything new. Like the High Priestess already knows, has watched this happen over and over and over again for eons. And so you know how this has gone. Sip of bubbly. Okay. So it's like you know better than to think that this is the end of things. That sounds really crappy to say, especially when there are so many people that are struggling and terrified right now. But what this card is saying is that you have the knowledge that you need. You know, you have the trust, if you don't resist it, that things are unfolding exactly as they need to. That's why needing to be here in this moment right now. There's no other place for you to be. There's nothing else for you to do. Just being in this moment right now is like the high priestess. So the high priestess has a wealth of knowledge. She has it all contained. That's why when we go into the empress goes, "Yeah, I got to share it. I got to show it off." But the high priestess, it's quiet. It's calm. It's trusting the knowledge. Whereas the magician comes along and says, "I have all the tools I need, and I'm going to raise this energy and I'm going to focus this energy." The high priestess goes, "Okay, I've gained the knowledge from what I've done. I've done something expansive as a magician, and now I'm going to contain that knowledge and let it percolate and let it accumulate because I want a deeper understanding of it." So the beginning of the month, we're kind of, there may be resistance to just knowing. We have been, a lot of us, or I don't know, me, I don't know, me, a lot of us have been in a very reactive state of mind, which is completely understandable over for quite some time. And it didn't just start in November or January. It didn't just start then. This has been going on for quite some time. And this is part of an unfolding of a cycle. And no, it doesn't necessarily feel very good. And no, it doesn't seem like something we'd like. I mean, some people like it, but they're not watching this video. I'm pretty certain because they're not seeking any guidance or inspiration from anything but their own. But see, here, I just did it. I just started talking about it, which meant that I was othering them because they're human beings too. Doesn't mean I have to like them. And I don't like what they're doing at all, but they're human beings too. So there I go. Anyway, the high priestess card is the energy of the beginning of the month. There's a little resistance to seeing the bigger picture, seeing the way that it is unfolding naturally, and resistance to that unfolding, which is completely understandable. The middle of the month, after we've percolated with the wisdom a little bit, the middle of the month is the Hanged Man. And the Hanged Man is kind of, this makes sense that we got the Singer of the Courage, because the Singer of Courage, not of the courage, because there's only one. No. It makes sense that we got the Hangman, because the Hangman is kind of being put in a position where we really have to look at things in a different way. You know, the Hangman looks fairly nonplussed, but upside down. The Hangman is being forced to look at things in a different way. Hangman is comfortable with it, but it's still a viewpoint that so this middle of the month, we're really going to we're going to be given the opportunity. Some people will feel like it's a challenge to look at things in a totally different way in order to be able to move forward. in order to be able to feel good about where we're going and where we've been. So that's kind of the middle of the month. Yeah, I love that. I love that for me. Pardon me. So also with the hangman, there's a sense of surrender. There's a feeling that we have to surrender to it. That it's this is, and again, we're going back to where are you right now? Exactly right now. How are you doing exactly right now? And being patient with it, being in this moment and having the courage to be in this moment. And the hangman has the courage to be in this moment and trusting that eventually he's going to be able to get down and he's not going to be upside down anymore. But he's being forced to look at things from a different perspective, a new perspective, one that he hadn't thought of before. And that's kind of where we're going in the middle of the month. And part of that will take courage. It'll take courage to look at things from a different perspective. It'll take courage to surrender to that different perspective, you know? Now we've got from the 21st to the 30th, we have the Emperor, which is kind of cool. We've got the Emperor. So now that we have acknowledged the wisdom, kind of explored it, let it percolate, looked at things from a different perspective, had the courage to do that, now we can build. So towards the end of the month, we will find that we can build a little bit more of a stable foundation, build a little bit more stability for ourselves this last part of the month. So, like I said, I feel like this month is going to do this, but it feels like it's going to level out a little bit at the end of the month and give us a chance to get our footing, because the Emperor will do that. The Emperor is creates stability, represents protection, represents strength. Whereas like the Empress before him goes, ta-da, have a parade in my honor. Look, I just gave birth to this wonderful child. And the Emperor goes, okay, now we need to build a structure to keep this new creative thing safe. And that's kind of what we're coming to. So here you're remaining open-hearted in the midst of things, having the courage to keep your heart open. And the Emperor goes, okay, now let's create a structure. Let's ground that open-heartedness. Let's ground it. Not ground it like you're on restriction, but ground it, anchor it, so that it becomes a way of being as opposed to something, okay, as opposed to a mask or a costume that you put on. Right? That was kind of rough for me to even say out loud. So having an open heart regardless, so that it becomes a way of being as opposed to a mask or a costume that you just put on from time to time when the mood strikes you or when you feel like you need to. Wow. Truth darts in this one. The truth darts. All right. So the next card that we're going to pull is going to represent our animal support. I know we have the support card with the cat, but this one's going to be from the, the Spirit Animal Oracle by Colette Baron Reed. Everything is backwards. You probably can't read it backwards. I guess that's just how my camera's going to do things. And so this is going to be, oh, I know what it is. Not support. This is our animal guide. our animal inspiration and guide for this month. That's what it is. Inspiration and guide. All right, who's it going to be? Can we get something fun? I mean, koi fish. Oh, nice. Okay. All right. Let's show you the picture. It is koi fish. Here, we'll get close up here and then get close up here. So it's the koi fish spirit, and it says there is always enough, which is interesting because we're talking about like the singer of courage. There's a lot about trusting that things are unfolding. I know it's hard to trust, but we're being given this message. And don't think that just because I'm saying all these things and I'm able to practice it every single minute of every single day. That's a bunch of horse hockey. Because I'm a human being too, and I get frustrated and I get scared and I get overwhelmed, and I'm going through it too. But some of this stuff is really hitting for me, and I'm hoping to use that knowledge to help myself through. All right, card number 36, koi fish spirit. There is always enough. The koi fish who grows big within a small pond reminds us that within each of us is a potential for prosperity. The law of abundance ensures that prosperity is our natural state. So, regardless of temporary outer conditions, you can call in prosperity and magnetically attract the opportunities and abundance you need. The message of koi fish spirit is to begin to generate wealth within, kind of like the high priestess. No matter how small your pond may seem, and appreciate the abundance whenever you see it. Outer conditions will come to reflect your inner prosperity, so begin to become the self who is comfortable with wealth in all forms. Even if at the moment it feels as if riches are not yours, they soon will be. Start to envision the plenty that Spirit wants you to experience, knowing that the moment you begin to commit to conscious and deliberate co-creating, Spirit will joyfully start bringing you what you need. You have so much to offer and so much of value to express to the world. In your little pond, there is much you can create and much you can attract. Do not underestimate what you have and who you are, for koi fish spirit wants you to know that you are exquisite, you are loved, and you are deeply cherished. Trust that outer conditions are changing to reflect that truth. I like that. I mean, all the other, a lot of the other cards were kind of, bam, here, have some of that. And having to have courage. So I'm going to pull some other cards for some other decks just to kind of give us, I'm going to pull a card that is going to be like a wild card, like the random, like what's going to be what out of left field card, maybe. Let's see which deck we're going to do that from. Okay. Okay, this is the Goddess Knowledge cards with art by Susan Boulay. So we've got this one. This is Aphrodite. All right. So here's what. All right. So I was talking about like maintaining an open heart regardless. Aphrodite is about love, is about love and attraction and being open to it and enjoying it and embracing it and finding it where it is meeting it where it is. That's kind of cool. So we've got Aphrodite. Aphrodite is most often described as radiant and shining. When Aphrodite is present, the whole world acquires a soft golden glow. Foam-born, she is associated with the creative, life-giving sea and represents a sense of freshness, renewal, and hope. A descendant of the prehistoric water bird goddess of old Europe, she is often accompanied by birds. The goddess of both spiritual and passionate love, Aphrodite joins us to one another. She is feminine. She is feminine being in all of her fullness, and her realm is that of relationship and feeling. Aphrodite demands maturity if we are to be in true relationship. And when we embrace mature love, Aphrodite is here to bless us. So Aphrodite, this is about love, the courage to love other people and to love your life and to love yourself as you are, because there's nothing wrong with you. You know, it's the courage to do that. Let's look at that. Woohoo! I know. I'm sorry, YouTube. You get to like see me move the thing. And we're going to have a play card. That's the wild card. Let's do the play card. And I'll see if maybe this is something that we can talk about for a while, or I'll close out. It really depends. Okay. This is going to be from Gentle Chaos, the Oracle, Pocket Oracle Deck Guidebook from Ghost Honey. So, oh, maybe I should turn it around to this is the cave, the play card. Okay, so this month is going to be a little serious. It's not going to be quite as playful as last month. It's going to be a little more serious, but it's also trying to get into these tender parts, trying to access these tender parts, these loving parts, and knowing that these loving parts aren't separate from us, just not separate. Okay, let's see. All right, the cave. There is magic here to stand alone in a cave, to see waves reach and stretch and collapse exhausted into sea foam at your feet. So we're talking about sea foam, Aphrodite. There is magic in the rocks, in the salt water calling out to the water inside you. The cave is a reminder of the magic that can be found in solitude and by looking inward. Now, I think that the cave card goes with the High Priestess, because that's her jam, looking inward. Even though the Hermit looks inward as well, but the High Priestess, High Priestess is kind of like the first trust the knowledge. The Hermit goes in to seek knowledge, but the High Priestess trusts that she already is embodying the knowledge. And it doesn't matter who you are on the gender spectrum. There is that. We have all of it inside of us. So I'll tell a little story. One of my favorite places, or it used to be one of my favorite places to go. I lived in San Francisco in the 90s, and one of my favorite places was to go to where the Sutro baths were. There's the ruins of the baths. There's, it's over by the Cliff House and etc. around there, but there are like the trails that go down, and there are the ruins of the baths. And in there's a cave that goes through. You come out the other side, and And there's all these rocks and cliffs, and it's pretty incredible. And what I used to do is I used to go there, and I would pick up rocks and put them in my pockets when I was on my way down. And those rocks would represent things I was afraid of. Oh, this is a perfect story for this. It just dawned on me. Okay, so I would put these rocks in my pockets because they would represent the things that I was afraid of and the things that I wanted to let go of. I would fill my pockets with rocks. I would get down to the edge, to where the cliffs were. There are places that you can kind of stand over and look out. And I would throw those rocks into the ocean one by one, imagining that I'm letting go of that fear. I'm letting go of whatever it is that I needed to let go of. Hey, granted, understand that you're probably letting go of a layer of it. If it's a really deep, really sticky thing, there'll be other layers of it that you'll need to let go of. But I'm throwing the rocks into the sea. And then when I'm done, I go into the cave and I walk all the way through the cave, and I stay at the other end of the cave for just a little while. And then as I walk out of the cave, I take my time walking out of the cave because there's a little spot in there where the water kind of comes in and goes underneath you. And you can hear it, and it's incredible, and the wind's kind of blowing through it. And when I come out of the cave, I imagine that I'm reborn. I can be like Aphrodite coming out of the surf. I'm reborn. And that's like this little ritual thing that I used to do. And that might be something that you might like to do. You may not be able to find a cave anywhere, but you can certainly pick up rocks and throw them into the sea or a river or a lake or a pond, to do these symbolic physical things with yourself incorporates more of you in the magic of it. It incorporates more of your own energy. It incorporates more of your belief system. Because if you believe that this is letting go of fears, and at that point in time, I believed that, it helped. It helped a lot. So, because it really depends on what we believe. And unfortunately, we have been surrounded by people who are afraid of so much and want control over so much. And I can be afraid and I can want control, and it's very limiting. It limits what you experience. It limits your life. And but they can come in so many forms, these beliefs. My daughter and I like to watch the ghost hunting shows and stuff. And I, because I like to check in and see, you like to debunk or see if things are real or not or whatever, and it's entertaining. And my belief system is that not everything's a demon. Okay? But I also, the more I thought about it, I thought, well, in my belief system, I just don't believe, that's not how the religious framework or spiritual framework of my life grew. That's not how it was molded. It's not, that doesn't mean that I don't believe that it's possible that there are things out there that are, tricksters, and it's not that I don't completely believe that, but it's not part of my automatic belief system. That's not where I go. That's not where I go. Let's see, somebody is troubled. Okay. And I think that it really, that can kind of be a testament to, how you're walking around your life, you know, is what do you believe? And maybe this month with the Singer of Courage, we are being given the opportunity to believe something else about ourselves and about what's possible. And we are being given the opportunity to kind of move beyond the limiting belief that it's us versus them, and while still being realistic enough to understand that there are certain things that are being threatened, but still being able to have our hearts open in it. And I think that's hilarious that all of a sudden I was like, the cave. Oh, I have to tell that story. And it happens to be a story about releasing fears. Sometimes I even surprise myself. But this is going to be an interesting month. We know, on some level, we all know what we need, and we all know what needs to happen for ourselves. We also need to not forget how precious we are. It doesn't matter who we are. It doesn't matter how other people see us. And I have a really hard time with that myself. It can't matter. We're still here. And there's still a reason to be around and to have our hearts open. And I'll work on that too, because I have to work on that too. Because boy, I'll tell you, when you start to, as you get older, and maybe this hasn't happened for some of you yet, but as you get older, you start kind of dismantling the things that you thought were important, the things that you thought, the things that you didn't know were ever going to go away, or you didn't think about going away. Like, I don't know. I get surprised every time I look in the mirror. I'm surprised by my gray hair. And I know I complain about this sometimes. I'm surprised by things. I remember the last bit of my 40s where I was like, I don't have much more time to be a cute girl. And it's weird because I worked that up until my late 50s, but it's just very strange. And so maybe part of that for me this month is to have the courage to have my heart still open for that. Anyway, I am wishing all of YouTube and all of you Facebook, all my friends, a remarkable April. That's the word. A remarkable April in a good way. And don't forget to keep checking in with yourself and being here in this moment. And maybe putting some fear rocks in your pocket. Hey, maybe you don't have to throw it into a body of water. Maybe you could just take it into a field or throw it down the street or something. Just pick them up, have them represent shit, and throw them. It's amazing what you can do with actual physical movements. Like, oh, do you want to close the door on something? Good. Fund up all your imagination and all your energy about what you want to close the door on. Go open the door. Imagine that shit is on the outside of the door, or you're on the outside of the door, and shut the door to it. It is about intent. It is about belief. You'd be amazed at what is possible here here, everywhere. You'd be amazed at what's possible. I'm going to remind myself. I hope that you remind yourselves. And I hope that you have a wonderful month. And I'll see you back for the card of the week. As usual, I love you guys. I really do. And I appreciate you. Thank you for showing up with me every month. Talk to you soon.